I need to correct some lies at Crazy Gail Wiki. Zack Knight has just put up a web page at Crazy Gail Wiki that claims that I'm an insane driver. He says, needless to say, Gail's road antics have occasionally gotten her pulled over. I've only been pulled over once in my entire life as a driver, and I've been driving since age 16, and I'm 55 right now. And that time was a Jesuit setup, which he describes in his pink box here at his website. Only one time in my entire life I've ever been pulled over. I did not get a ticket because I let him know that I was running late for work, and the stop sign that I went past, it was on a minor street, and I was running late for work because I had to go another way because the Jesuits had blocked the one way that I usually go, and I managed to talk him out of it. I was set up, I could tell you, and yeah, if you read Crazy Gail, they talk about it. So I have a safe driver logo on my driver's license. So the Jesuits are lying. I only got pulled over once. Never had a ticket my entire life except for one time when I was, I think it was about 19 years old. I was in a group, not even in a car, and I got a moving violation. I took it to court. The police officer didn't even show up because she realized she gave me a ticket for a moving violation when I wasn't even in a car. That's the only ticket I've gotten my entire life. I ended up having to go to court. I had to skip some chemistry classes, which probably dropped my grade from a B to a C because I had to do that. It was a very hard class. It was pre-med chemistry. So, you know, the Jesuits are full of crap here. So, and the ticket was dropped because the police officer never came to court. So that ticket was dropped. That's the only ticket I've gotten my entire life. I was 19 years old, not even in a car, which means I wasn't supposed to get the ticket. You don't get a ticket for a moving violation when you're not even in a car. You say, what were you doing? I was with my boyfriend at the time, and they were drag racing. And I guess maybe the people that were drag racing were supposed to be getting the tickets and not. And I guess they assumed that anybody standing around was a drag. I didn't even want to be there. I thought it was stupid, and I ended up breaking up with that shallow boyfriend. So, but you know, that's what happened. I happened to be in a group standing with a bunch of drag racers, but I wasn't drag racing myself. And so they gave me a ticket for a moving violation. I didn't even want to be there. I thought the whole thing was stupid. That's the only ticket I've gotten my whole life. But if you read the section Gail and driving and Crazy Gail, they try to make it appear like I'm some sort of like road rage person, you know. Let me tell you who has road rage. The Jesuits are. Oh, by the way, the only time I got pulled over, I was running late for work, and I was trying to take a route that's a little bit quicker for me, where I don't have to stop at a stoplight. You know, there's one red light on my way to work that takes like forever to turn green. So I tried going a shorter, quicker way, and I looked both ways, and the traffic, I could tell the Jesuits were orchestrating the traffic both ways. They were coming like, driving like kamikaze pilots. And for me to break in, I would have ended up killing somebody. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have to back off and go the other route, even though I'm going to be late for work, because it's not worth trying to break into this, because the Jesuits have got it set up that if I do, I'm going to get in a deadly accident. So I backed off and I went another route. I was running slightly late for work. That actually made me late for work because I had to back out and go another route. So taking the other route, I had stopped at a stop sign, looked both ways, I kind of slowed down. And at the same time, I was putting on my seatbelt, because sometimes now, because of that police officer who pulled me over, I just put on the seatbelt as soon as I get in the car. But I was putting it on just as soon as I got into the car. Well, the police officer showed up, and well, let me tell you first. I was putting on seatbelt, looked both ways, saw there was no car, so I didn't make a full stop at the stop sign, and I just went right through it. And the police officer just showed up right then and there. Oh, what perfect timing! And then he just flashed his lights. It was a little minor intersection, and I looked both ways, and there was no traffic coming. But you know, you're supposed to make a complete stop at the stop sign. So I went into the street. And then he said, well, you didn't stop at the stop sign, so I should give you a ticket. I said, well, let me tell you what happened. There was another road I was supposed to take, and if I'd broken into that, I would have gotten a deadly accident. So I was running late for work because I had to take an alternate route. And I said, then I told him, say hi to Zack Knight for me, because I could tell the whole thing was a setup. And that's what happened there. He said, well, I'll tell you what, we're looking at your driver's record here, and you don't have anything on your driver's record. So he says, I'm going to give you a break this time. He says, but you probably break the law a lot of times and just get away with it, you know, like we all do. So he said, oh, just make sure you completely stop at all the stop signs, please. So I said, oh, I will. Thank you, sir. You know, I said, that. Now, what's really interesting is that's the only time in my entire driving history I've ever been pulled over. But if you read this section at Zack Knight's website, crazygail.com, under Gail and Driving, he's trying to create the impression that that this happens frequently. He's such a liar. If you look at his Crazy Gail website, the stuff in the pink boxes as of today, that is correct. But those were private emails that I sent between me and Brent, and I didn't post them online anywhere. So Zack Knight is posting my private emails up at his Crazy Gail, and I know my men didn't do it, and they're not trolls. They didn't do it. Zack Knight is a better spy than the KGB. You know, he really is. The only reason he's posting my stuff and he's not posting your stuff is because he knows he can get away with it with me, because he thinks he can blame it on my men, saying that my men are trolls. So that's why he's doing it. What other junk does he say here? Oh, he claims that I had a car repossessed. I've never had a car repossessed. Never in my life. That's a bunch of crap. I've never had a car repossessed. Excuse me. Though I will say this much, Vladimir Putin did try to make the payoff for one of my cars, and in my book that I'm writing right now, I go into what the Jesuits did. It's quite interesting. Talk about rage, man. If there's any organization that's full of anger and hate and murder, it's the Jesuit Order. It's not me and my men. We're just defending ourselves against them. They attack us. There's one thing here that in the white section, most of the stuff that he has in the white section at Crazy Gail is a bunch of lies or exaggerations. The stuff in the pink boxes are correct as of this date, August the 3rd, but then, Zack might change it and lie later, who knows. But that stuff's private, was never supposed to be posted publicly. He says the men unleashed martial law in all of Florida and began rooting out and detaining all Jesuits they found during mandatory vehicle checks. This was before we had our contract with Zack Knight, when we were allowed to arrest Jesuits just for being Jesuits, simply because we had overwhelming evidence that all Jesuits are interested in war and attack and murder. And so we were able to arrest somebody just for being a Jesuit. Because of the contract that we've signed with them, we can't do that anymore. Even though I think a lot of these Jesuits deserve it. But we're going to honor the contract, because I got to keep my word, because Jesus is on our side, and he won't help us if we violate that contract. But at the time that this was going on, the contract wasn't happening. Those Jesuits, they play like they're so good. Such good. They should all win an Academy Award in acting. They're not who they appear to be. They're two-faced. Their public presence and what they do is sneaky, and behind the scenes is two different people. Behind this, they're like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, kind of like Laurie McBride. In public, she's this respectable, Brent Spiner, wife, girlfriend, but behind the scenes, she's a raging bitch. So I'm not exaggerating. That's even Brent Spiner calls her that. Anyways, let's see here. I'll be going into that in my next book. See, this is what Zack Knight is doing. I'm reading. He's doing damage control for my next book. He spies on my computer, so he probably already knows everything that I'm writing. Like I said, he's a better spy than the KGB. I'm wondering where he's gotten these emails, and like, for instance, the download that he got of me using the dildo recently, where I actually put like yeast medication on the dildo. I didn't even send that to my men. I thought it was tacky, so I just kept it on my computer. And Zack Knight somehow got a hold of it. I'm telling you, he's a better spy than the KGB. You say, well, he doesn't get our stuff and put it online. Well, see, that's because he can't blame it on anybody but himself. If he took your stuff and put it online, the Jesuit order would be destroyed because he would be the only one who could be blamed for it. But because I have a communication going on with my men, he thinks that he can commit crimes and frame his crimes on my men, saying that they're trolls. All I can say is if they are trolls, I've had an online communication with Brent now for, I'd say since 2011. He's had plenty of time to destroy me, man. You say, well, you've been destroyed. No, I haven't. If I was destroyed, I wouldn't even be able to talk to you here on this video. I'd be out on the streets. So I haven't been destroyed. You say, well, it's because, no. Anyways, I'm getting a little bit off the subject. I'm just going to address the lies here. Okay, I've never had my car repossessed. That's a lie. And Zack Knight knows it. Oh, by the way, if there's any doubt about who is the author of Crazy Gail Wiki, I will tell you right now, because we've been fighting him in court, trying to get this website to go down. The author of Crazy Gail Wiki is Jesuit leader Zack Knight. It's not Rule 13 anymore. She used to work on that website, but she hardly ever works on it anymore because she doesn't like what Zack Knight says about me. She's my friend. So the author of Crazy Gail Wiki is Zack Knight. That's who it is. So if any of you out there are mad at that website, you need to get a lawsuit and bring it against Zack Knight. He is the author of that website. And he's a Jesuit, and he's not one of my men. Okay? So don't go after me. Don't go after Brent Spiner, Vladimir Putin, Gerard Butler, or Terrence Jenkins for crazygail.com. We have nothing to do with that website. That is Jesuit Zack Knight. So if you want to sue over that website, you need to address your lawsuit against Zack Knight. He's the one who administers that website. Okay? And it's not even Rule 13 anymore. It's Zack Knight. Go after him. Don't waste your... Why would you want to launch a lawsuit against the victim? I'm the victim of his website. Go after Zack Knight. He's the one who's behind that website. He does all the computer work. I think he does the programming for it. He writes the HTML script. He's the one who's behind it. And all the others that are working on it are working under him. Zack Knight is the administrator. He's the one in charge of that website. crazygail.com is Zack Knight's website. It's not mine, and it's not my men. Okay, let's see what else we got here. All right, I think that's the main lies. I don't know about unleashing martial law. He's lying so much in the white section. I don't know if that's true or not. It is true that we were arresting Jesuits, because this was before we had our contract. Okay. Like I said, I've only been pulled over once. I didn't accuse the police officer of being a Jesuit. I just told him to say hi to Zack Knight for me. That's all I said. So Zack is making stuff up here. I wouldn't be dumb enough to accuse a police officer of being a Jesuit. Though I think the police officer was a Jesuit. I just said, say hi to Zack Knight for me. Okay. That's it for this. Let me tell you what's really going on. Bottom line, Zack Knight is as nervous as hell about my book coming up. And he's doing damage control.